Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm here with X Overland. If you haven't heard of Expedition Overland, Clay, the family, the team at Expedition Overland are inspiring people all over the world and getting off their butts and getting outdoors and doing overlanding. What is overlanding? It's traveling from point A to point B with a destination in mind. That whole idea to me was strange in special operations because overlanding for us was just doing it. But after I started getting educated from X-Overland on tactics, techniques, and their procedures, I started realizing, man, like, I don't know, why am I uncomfortable? Why are we sleeping under a Land Rover in Afghanistan, suffering? Because we didn't know better. I'm a big fan of Clay and everybody at X-Overland. We're trying to do some stuff with them in South Africa, hopefully some anti-poaching stuff to bring awareness to that. But I drove, me and Austin's big ass drove, we're both big boys. We drove from Heber City, Utah to Bozeman, Montana in this little Porsche I'm sitting on. And not gonna lie, but this is probably my desperate attempt to get sponsors. I don't want your products, I want your money. I'm gonna start racing. American Rally Association. I grew up in special operations racing in schools, getting the training to make me a better driver overseas for mobility ops. I've been to rally race car school, hard surface at BSR, race car school in Bondurant, Blackwater, every single driving course that Blackwater offered, off-road training with overland experts, off-road training with BSR, a whole bunch of stuff that I was required because of my job. And I own a preparedness company, and for me, there's no better way to demonstrate what preparedness is than racing in a rally car. I know that for some people are like, that doesn't make sense. It's all about preparation. And stealing kind of Austin's philosophy on this, the plan for preparation can be applied across the spectrum. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you that a normal dude, I mean, I got a background in the military, but I don't have a background in special operations, rally, race car driving. I'm gonna apply some of those basic principles and be a rally race car driver. And I'm probably gonna beat Ken Block and Travis Pastrana, no big deal. But I don't have the sponsorships to do that, so I'm gonna start off in a Porsche. Now this Porsche is not the Porsche that I'm gonna race. That's being built right now at our HQ. But I wanted to build something that was kind of complementing the feeling and some of the means that would make me better at being a driver with a real race car. So driving around town, driving on back roads, the navigation, the communication, some of the practice that I can get in a daily driver, I could apply to racing. And I'm thinking like that constantly. It's like if you're a tactical trainer, you're not teaching with an open gun. You're teaching with a tactical, your SIG 320X carry, because that's the carry consideration. But that's gonna make you better at the open practice, at least in theory, and I'm going with that. That's why I'm investing money into this car. This right here is a 1980 Porsche 911 SC, which stands for Super Carrera, air-cooled Porsche 911, and it's the Targa edition. A coupe would just have the hard shell. The Targa, which came out in the United States, had to have this kind of roll bar system with glass. It couldn't just be the cabriolet version of this. There are cabriolet versions of this, but this is the purpose of the Targa. Basically popping the sunroof. I'm not that guy. I don't do that. So I wanted to make this into a kind of rally spec car, which isn't normal for people in the Targa model. The Targa model can be found cheaper. I bought this for $20,000 from a dude in Colorado with 60,000 original miles. And since then, it's been living in my garage, and I was gonna baby it, and it's gonna be a garage queen. But then I started thinking about getting into rally and realized, man, with a few modifications, I could turn this into a safari rally kind of car. So that's what I did. BF Goodwrench tires. For all you guys that are probably gonna want the specs, 215, 75, 15. 15-inch braid wheels. These are rally racing wheels. Had them powder coated bronze because I'm a black on bronze kind of guy. And then we got Safariland Rally Suspension. Safariland Rally Suspension is almost dang near the cost of the car itself, but the best suspension you'll find on the planet for these kind of applications. You can tuck some good all-terrain tires and wheels stock underneath these cars. Remember, like a guy asked me, hey, is this four-wheel drive? They do make four-wheel drive Porsches. The 964 has a variant of a 4 and a 4S, and so does the 993, which are the 3 generations of Porsche air-cooled cars. I have a 993 and I have a 911 Coupe in addition to this. These were made to go at high elevation, on and off road, with not a lot of systems in place because they're made in Germany. I mean, this car's 41 years old. The engine hasn't changed much. This is a 3-liter. They went to 3.2 liter a couple years later, and then they evolved into 3.6 for the 993. The reason I love this car is because it's so light, rear-wheel drive, it can go anywhere, especially with all-terrain tires. So is it the perfect bug-out rig? I would say no. But is it a comparable off-road, on-road rig that's reliable? I would say yes. Remember, this doesn't have a coolant system. So let me show you, because I want to get a little bit detailed on this, because a lot of you guys have asked me these kind of questions. Fieldcraft Survival, sponsored. That's my only sponsor, man. Fieldcraft Survival gave me a couple pouches for this rig. Those guys are cheap. So all original, 60,000 miles when I got it. It has about 62,000 miles on it now. There isn't one aftermarket part in this rig, which I love. I have ordered some stuff, which I'll let you know in the next video, because I know some of you guys are Porsche nerds and like seeing this stuff. I just got a new intake system. It basically chops this 50mm tube, which suffocates the engine and opens it up a little bit, and then a full exhaust with a cat bypass. That adds 20 plus horsepower, which in this vehicle, in the small form factor it is a lot. I mean, look at this thing. This is like, I don't know the nomenclature, I'll say cowl because that's induction. The air basically goes over this very aerodynamic body, comes through this. A lot of people think this is a radiator. This is actually an oil cooler. That air flows to these vents, cools the oil as it cycles through the vehicle front and rear, and then feeds into the system. That air also rams in here, keeping the entire system cool, which is one of the reasons why you don't need a radiator and a coolant system altogether, which saves a lot of weight, a lot of pains, and why everything's in the rear, right? So closing this, let me give you a tour of the inside a little bit. I did put a roof rack on here. We try to put the spare tire on this Yakima rack. I like basket cages because it's more utilitarian. There's some sexy, cool, slatted wooden roof racks that just don't make sense utility-wise. But this will not hold a spare because all the weight shifts it, and it actually slid off of this target top. So soft goods, like soft bags, no problem, but not holding a spare. A spare would be perfectly positioned for the front. Up in the vehicle, so Sparco wheel, obviously on a racing wheel. It minimizes the size. It's a smaller size wheel. Also, that little felt is real comfortable and cozy. And then I got racing seats. I'm not keeping these racing seats in here. Why? Because they suck. They're not good for long trips. 8 hours is enough to tell me that. I'm going to go with Schillman's. Schillman's makes the best seats in the world. I have them in 2 of our Land Cruisers. But they're also performance seats and chairs. So they fit and conform to be able to position you to be able to drive. And I like that. Right here, you can see I pulled the carpet. It's a little dirty in here, but I'm going to put down Rinline. I just ordered from Rinline the steel mat that goes down on the ground, and then the pedal set, and then a couple accessory sets that allow you to put a floor plate and then a side plate here to protect it. That's all in the arena of protecting it long term, especially for racing conditions. I put a new shifter in there. I believe that shifter is the Revo. or Evo shifter. Gets you a little bit higher in the position and allows you to shift. The cool thing about this rig and this setup, you can see the mobility bag back there. Yeah, that's what my Philcraft sponsor gave me. Great, $150 value. Doesn't do much for the car, but I don't know, life-saving equipment. I want to use this for practice, but I also want to use it as a daily driver. So it has to be comfortable for me. The cool thing about this car, it has air condition and a heater. The heater is like controlling the throttle on a C-130. So when you pull up on it, like you literally pull these two levers. You might be get a shot after, you want to get a shot of that? In between here, you get these levers and you pull up on that lever and that activates the defrost / heater, which is kind of cool. What's not cool is using Austin's left pocket as my center console. And what's not cool is when it heats up, it's like being in a sauna, and then you got to cool it down. So the only indication that you're too hot is you're sweating profusely, and then you cool it down, run on the windows, it airs it out, you get cold, and you just do that. And I must have lifted that lever 50 times yesterday, which is funny. It's cool. It's all about the experience, and I like the simplicity in these things. Minimalist, simple, and I would say EMP proof if you're into that. I'm into that, so yeah, it's EMP proof. I'll show you two last things. So I just popped that, and then I'm gonna pop that. So this is the unleaded fuel only cap as read by this instruction right here. But it's pretty cool because this protects the vehicle and the flap, and you get it on here. And then up here, no modifications done. This little bar right here came stock. These factory lights are stock. And then underneath the hood, super stock. Again, I like the simplicity in things. The only thing I did was hardwire a battery tender that I could plug in, especially in cold conditions like this. And then that's it. The race car version of this, which I'll give you a tour as soon as we get money from sponsors, because it's just a shell right now. Black Rifle Coffee, man, where you at? The race version of this would have a fuel cell and strut bar. I did order a strut bar. That's on the way. And since I'm talking modifications, I just ordered Renline's light set, which is really cool because it's got a halo. It's got an upgraded, instead of a LED bulb, a halogen bulb, it has an LED bulb, and it just illuminates more light. This one, I don't want to put the fog Baja Rally race lights on. The race car will get that, but again, I'm trying to keep it simple, stupid. Good luck finding these cars. The fact that I paid 3 years ago $20K for this was a good deal at the time. I don't think you can get a Targa right now for less than 40, 50, a coupe 60, 70, a 993 70, 80. Insane. This market is like better than gold, and I kind of like that. Like, I like investing my money in things that are practical, things that are fun, but things that appreciate and don't depreciate. You buy a brand new GT3, well, a GT3 is the exception, a panorama, whatever model, Porsche, and you drive it off the lot, you're going to depreciate. These cars only continue to skyrocket in value. That's why I'm not going to hack it. Most of the things that I do is bolt on, and I can return it back. So are you Porsche enthusiast and elitist? I get it, because I get that argument, because you're retaining a piece of history, because not a lot of these were made. I'm not going to chop this one. Now my coupe, which is an SC Euro spec coupe, which is actually rare in the color scheme, I'm hacksawing. Like, I literally the other day was like hacksawing it into pieces. But that's meant for American Rally Association rally racing. Is it expensive to get into ARA? No, not really. It's actually fairly cheap. You got to get your license, got to do the track fees, and then the race fees, and then you do the time trials. It's super fun. Ken Block, Travis Pastrana have all competed in it. I think Ken Block won the championship this year. It's something that I'm passionate about because of my former job, and it's something that I'm going to continue to show you guys so you can just follow along in the passion. And just like Expedition Overland, I hope to inspire you, not necessarily to go track and rally race, but just get outside your comfort zone, because I'm definitely doing that for me. I mean, I'm good, but I'm not like Ken Block good. And to get to that good takes a lot of time investment, a willingness to make mistakes, and that's what I'm all about. So yeah, I guess you could do something sexy like with the camera, like some kind of like pan away, fade away.
Yeah. We'll get something here. Here we go.
Oh, if you're a sponsor, like seriously, and you want to sponsor me, cold hard cash, like no joking. I want to get sponsors, corporate sponsors, because that's how this industry works. I can't keep up with the costs and the demands of all the things. So if you're like a tire company or whatever, hit me up.